Have you guys heard about Bigfoot?
Hey, welcome to Front Seat Gamer. This is episode 101. I'm Nick. I'm here with Severn.
Yo.
And Blake.
What's up?
And today we've got a special guest, Andrew.
Hey.
How's it going?
Yeah, not bad.
Good. We usually start off the podcast by talking about what we've been playing. I've been playing Hearthstone. Yes, that's right. I'm back playing Hearthstone.
You back in it?
I'm a little bit back.
Is this from us talking about how you haven't played Hearthstone for a while?
No, actually. Rory has been messaging me about his games, and I'm being like, that sounds fun.
Okay.
So I'm back in it. There goes my life.
Is it like an idle game?
Hearthstone?
Yeah.
It's similar.
Yeah.
There's a lot of waiting,
Mm.
and then you do a little bit of stuff, and then you wait some more.
Huh.
Yeah.
You buy booster packs in Hearthstone, right?
You're meant to. I don't.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I play the arena mainly, which is where you can win booster packs.
Right.
And also, I don't pay for anything else. So,
Good mentality. It's a free game then.
yeah, that's right. Free to play. Andrew, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a few things. I've been playing a lot of Wasteland 2.
Wasteland 2.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Wasteland 2.
It was a Kickstarter, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Or was
yeah.
it?
And it's made by a bunch of the guys who were involved with, I think they were involved with the original Fallout games.
Okay.
So it is kind of like it's a top-down sort of RPG
Right.
tactics game.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
nice.
I've been thoroughly enjoying it.
Like post-apocalyptic, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's really good. It's
When did it come out?
I have no idea. A long time ago, because I just recently got a Switch, and so I got it on the Switch.
Ah.
Yeah, and it's a good game. It doesn't run that well on the Switch though.
Oh.
It's not very well optimized.
Dang it.
which
I was
is a
about to
problem.
boast about having another Switch user in the room, and then you
It's pretty funny.
had to go and say that.
Hey,
And now I'm like,
I love a lot of the games on the Switch, but yeah, I mean they're a smaller company, and so they probably didn't have the resources to invest in that. But yeah, so that's put me off a tad.
that's
yeah.
certainly our excuse.
Wait, what made you get a Switch? This is my burning question.
Yeah, that's actually my burning question as well.
Just people at work wore you down.
No, not at all. Actually, I was flying overseas for my wedding, and
A destination wedding?
no, I had two weddings. Yep.
Greedy.
Yeah. One here and then back to Taiwan, and one in Taiwan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But there's a lot of flying involved, and I don't like flying. Not one bit.
Mm.
So I decided to buy a Switch.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was a good investment.
Yes.
Despite the haters in the room,
Where-
it's palpable. I can smell
What
it.
did you play on the plane?
Xenoblade Chronicles.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Which it was surprising how much I enjoyed that RPG. It's not really the type of game that I'd go for normally, but I just wanted to play like an RPG, get my head out of the plane,
Yep.
and into somewhere else.
You wanted something to take your mind off where you actually were. Yeah.
And it worked. Yeah,
Yeah.
but apart from that, I mean, I've been playing all the big Switch games as well.
You got Smash?
Yes,
Ooh.
been playing through the Spirit mode.
Yeah.
Mario Party, been having a lot of fun with that.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Mario
also
Odyssey?
no, that's see, I haven't actually
Whoa.
played Odyssey or Zelda yet. Yeah.
Oh man, saving the
Those are
best
the
for
two
last.
best
Yeah,
games.
well, I've just been, I don't have a lot of time to play games, and so I do like games that I don't feel like I have to invest too much in.
Right.
Yeah.
Mario's quite good for that because it's very... there's so much to do in there that you can feel like you've achieved something very quickly. Zelda, a little less so, but it's still quite kind of bite-sized chunks of content, but that's another one where you can actually kind of get lost in it. So that would have been perfect for your flight, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, it's still on my list. I'll get there within my lifetime.
Hey, you better. You better. It's really, really good.
Yeah. I've also been playing Halo.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, well, they released that Master Chief Collection remake We can actually
Recently,
switch.
though, or that was a long time ago?
It came out a while ago,
Yeah.
but I just one of my friends decided he wanted to play through all the games.
Yeah.
Decided he wanted to do a co-op. So every couple of weeks we've been getting together to play through that. We're
cool.
almost through the first game, and you can switch between the old and the new graphics.
Yeah.
On the fly?
On the fly.
Oh, that's kind of
Do
cool.
you,
really cool.
Do you get a thing where, like, because I've seen that online on YouTube, and it's like, you're running through a level, and you're like, and I'm thinking, like, this hasn't changed much from when
and
I
then
remember.
you switch it, and it blows
Yeah.
your mind
You're
at
like,
how far
holy
it's come. Yeah. No, it's great. We made the mistake of playing it on the hardest difficulty and deciding one night that we're going to do a game called Wasted for Wasted. So every time you die, you have to drink.
Nice.
Oh, boy.
That must have gone. That was a spiral down.
It was
right?
a spiral. Yeah. Fun at the time, not so
Yeah.
much the next day.
That's great.
So, Vern, what have you been playing?
Just the regular games. Ashen. I
The regular games.
Nice.
regular games. Ashen. I passed that guy. He's not the final boss.
Oh,
I'll just say that much.
holy damn!
Yeah.
Is that awesome when you find out when you think you finished a game, but then there's more game?
You know, I thought
Or were you like,
I knew there
no.
was more game. I knew there was more game after
Yeah.
this guy because a new island appeared
Oh,
with
yeah.
like a quest on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be an epilogue thing.
Right.
You know, it's going to be all daisies and rainbows and
yeah.
stuff.
You saved everything, and
It's real dark, man. so that's happening. And as soon as that happened, I kind of just turned it off, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to save this.
Yeah.
I beat the game.
I'm gonna save that, and I don't want to take up too much of interview Andrew time, but Red Dead Online has come out of beta, and I've been jamming that.
Is it good yet?
Pretty good.
You said
really good.
you were saying a couple podcasts ago that you were really not into Red Dead Online.
Yeah,
Can you tell me what's changed?
there were problems. That they had a lot of they do patch notes and stuff. Griefing was a really big problem. So one thing that changed to address that was on the map. Before, you could just see every multiplayer character on the map.
Yep.
And now, it'll only highlight people around you that are kind of making noise or a ruckus or whatever.
Okay.
And so the player indicators will become visible to you when that happens.
Doesn't that game have a tracking mode?
What do you mean?
Like, don't you track animals?
In the single player, yeah.
Yeah. Why don't they use that for multiplayer?
You can't slow down time. You can't do it. That's like the whatever vision, like their hunting vision.
Right.
Yeah,
I
detective
don't-
mode. They're like
Yeah.
Witcher vision. There. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh, so it slows down time in the single player game?
maybe it doesn't, but it's a whole different view that isn't like your character doesn't have that in online.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know.
So that seems like a much more elegant solution to the problem of griefing, is to actually make it possible to only track players as opposed to just see them on your map.
No, the problem was people would see other people on the map and purposely go out of their way to then
Right. So
kill
what I'm
them.
saying is, if you make it so that they have to work for it,
Is that not the point of that? I mean, what do
Nah,
you...
man. No, there are a lot of different play styles. Like, you can be an arsehole and grief people. There are those people.
But there's got to be a wanted system like for that. Like
There are
if you keep killing people, someone's got to put bounties on your head and like
there are those
right?
systems.
Yeah.
And they came from Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
You know, the same thing with like law coming into. That
Yeah.
still happens, but some people are just real good.
Oh.
Like
They should just do a thing where like the bounty just keeps going up or something. Like it just gets increasingly harder for them.
is it a player driven bounty system? As in, like, a player has to apply a bounty to another player? Or is it system driven?
there is one system, but you can also pay like to have a bounty on a guy as
Right.
well.
Okay.
We had a thing that happened the other day. Me and a mate were doing a mission trying to steal a stagecoach.
Yep.
And we killed the guys. These are random computer guys.
Yep.
Kill them. Go into we jumped on the stagecoach and some random one guy. Me and Andrew were playing. My
Different
other mate,
Andrew.
Different Andrew.
Yeah, and we killed this guy. This guy comes in with a shotgun, shot me. I respawned like a little while away. Lassoed my buddy,
Whoa.
tied him up. This guy was like some kind of outlaw.
Wow.
Something crazy. And then I get there, and he like, I don't know, he just dodged my bullets, lassoed me,
Oh, wow,
tied me
that's
up, like
weird.
hog-tied me.
Yeah.
This guy's like a superhero.
If he dodged your bullets, do you think there's cheating involved?
That was my question.
I don't know. He was just
Or-
really good.
He had that bullet time.
Was he though, or was he cheating?
We kind of suck because this is our like return. to
Yeah.
it. And there are a lot of buttons in Red Dead.
Yeah.
So I mean, we played a bit of Apex Legends,
Yeah.
and cheating was very prevalent on that.
Mm-hmm.
Was it?
Is- Yeah. It had some serious.
That's why I never got a kill.
That's got to be the reason, Blake. It's the only plausible explanation.
What were people doing in Apex to cheat?
I think they had aimbots and they had like player tracking. like,
Yeah, and you can
stuff.
see through walls and stuff like that.
Have they patched that out? Actually done anything?
They were doing
to...
ban waves, but the ban waves were taking a while, and I don't know how thorough they were being / are being, but there were some real problems early on.
There are clips of it online, and it's gross, man. Like
Yeah.
people are just like looking into nothingness, like clipping through walls,
Yeah.
and then just like dying.
Yep.
It looks complete, but like in Red Dead, it looked functional. Like the guy wasn't like teleporting or anything.
Yeah.
He was just a badass.
But you don't need to be teleporting. You can like an aimbot will just lock onto to wherever the player is.
He
and you
seemed
don't
like-
need to do anything.
I can say that he was very competent, and
Okay.
he was running circles around us basically,
Wow.
and we just
Yep.
couldn't deal with this.
I mean,
guy.
this happens in games.
Sure sounds like
Sometimes
cheating.
people are just better.
we chased him off. Like as soon as
Yeah.
I respawned the second time, and my buddy respawned the second time, we both came in and we were like, "All right, you go this way, I'll go this way," and then he just went away on his horse.
Yeah.
Before we jump to what Blake has been playing, I also want to give some context. I now realize we haven't done this for Andrew because nobody knows who Andrew is yet.
He's Andrew. Everybody.
Everyone loves Andrew. He works at GGG.
Yes.
What's your title, or what's your like? I
My
wanna say-
title is actually audio lead now.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Nice.
So functionally, that's not just doing like sound effects, but it's also processing, like
Yeah.
voice
so,
acting.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously like I look after and manage a team
Yes.
now of audio engineers and do a lot of sound design and deal with dialogue.
Yeah.
Occasionally music. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also composed the music for Acton's Nightmare, I believe,
Yes. And the sewers.
and the sewers. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that one.
And
And-
the town arena.
Oh, like the PvP stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Sarn Arena, I think is what it's called.
Yes. Yeah.
And more importantly, you also composed the theme music
I did.
for this podcast.
That is true.
So
That's a fact.
we thank you semi-regularly on here.
Every time the theme song plays, there's just a little thanks, Andy.
More like every time we remember.
Oh, cool. Okay. I'll take it.
Specifically, every time I remember. Because that's my job.
Is that the only like chip tunes type music you've done?
I mean, I've done quite a bit of that stuff over the years.
Yeah.
But I've never like just for fun more than anything else because it's fun to do that kind of specific style. I mean,
Yeah.
I just like doing different styles of music just for fun. Yeah.
Well, we're going to dive deeper into that very shortly. Blake, what have you been playing?
I've just been playing Pathfinder. I'm like 89 hours in.
You're almost 89 hours in?
I'm almost 90 hours in.
Ooh.
But
A very
yeah,
specific way of tracking it. I'm almost 89 hours and 43 minutes in. I'm
Yep,
at the
yep.
42 mark.
but yeah, I'm loving that game. It's pretty great. I did run into some like frustration with it though.
Yep.
With its kingdom management stuff, because
Okay.
you can. I didn't realize this, but I should have, because like it's kind of like pops up in tutorials and stuff that if you mismanage your kingdom enough, it'll eventually like collapse and then you just lose the game.
What?
Mm.
Yeah. And
That seems like an intense
yeah, that's pretty
No.
tough.
question.
No warning at all?
It gives you a warning to be like, hey, if your like kingdom status drops any further, you're gonna lose. It'll,
Right,
like,
but at that point
collapse.
you're sort of
But at that point, it's like, well, this is from like things that had happened like hours and hours and
50
hours ago.
50 hours
yeah,
ago.
50
Yeah.
hours ago, decisions that were made that are like having an effect now that I can't exactly go back to my last save and change it. But you can like, so that's what happened, is that I was going on this quest to like basically save my kingdom from like just like story stuff that was happening, and it was affecting the kingdom, and it was like it was dropping status the longer I took. And on this mission to save the kingdom, my kingdom collapsed, and it just pops up saying, "You're done, game over." But it has an option saying to turn your kingdom into immortal like mode. So that means that no matter what, your kingdom won't die. So you basically will never lose the game through losing your kingdom. It'll always just stay on the lowest like.
Are there repercussions for that? Like,
well, you take like stat penalties and stuff, and like your kingdom also takes like penalties, so you're not able to like build things that then like affect like your party's like progression and stuff.
Okay, so your kingdom becomes less effective.
Yeah. Like
essentially.
my income for the kingdom just dropped completely, so I was really unable to do a lot of things. I couldn't. A lot of the kingdom quests require like money, and I couldn't do those.
You had no money, so you couldn't generate money. So
that's
money.
It's like real life.
Yeah, it's like real life.
Yeah,
you can put your own money into the kingdom, which is kind of the way I sort of like got out of that hole. I just started putting my own money into it. But what really got me out of that hole was that I went into the game settings and changed kingdom difficulty to the easiest.
Okay.
And so it's
interesting that they've got a different difficulty slider for the kingdom.
Yeah. And so it also has an auto ability, so it'll just run by itself.
Okay.
And you don't need to do anything. But I didn't want to do that. I like assigning people to missions and doing that sort of thing.
You like the kingdom management.
Yeah, I like the kingdom management.
Lose the game.
Yeah, but it's just too damn hard. Because like a lot of the time, I felt like I was getting kingdom quests that I couldn't do all of them. I only had so many people that I can assign to so many missions.
Yeah.
So that I'm guaranteed to fail some of them. And it just seemed like the penalty for failing was like building up more and more.
Can you not like choose who goes on the mission to best like succeed on?
Well, yeah,
mission?
but because it's a dice roll, there's always a chance that they'll fail.
Yeah, but wouldn't if you're
Well, yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it felt like I was like sending. I had a choice of say like 3.
Yeah.
So I'm guaranteed to fail 2 because I've only got one guy to like send on a mission.
Oh, and not sending people away counts as failure.
Yeah, not sending people on a mission is a failure.
A failure.
Because it's a time based thing. So what I do basically is I look at the like what date it is.
Yeah.
And then pick the ones that are like
the most urgent.
Yeah, the most urgent ones. But then like they all take different times. So like I can have, and only specific followers can do specific things. So only like the general can deal with like military stuff. So if they're busy doing something else, they can't deal with like these 3 other things. So I felt like no matter what I was doing, I was just losing.
That doesn't feel great.
No, it doesn't. I think there must be like a way to do it better than I was doing.
Now you were pretty strongly in favor of this game.
Yeah.
The last few podcasts.
Yeah.
You were like big into it.
Yeah.
Has that changed?
No, I'm still big into it. I mean that kingdom stuff was the only thing that really was really starting to frustrate me.
Okay.
Where it felt like no matter what I did, I was always losing. You know, it felt like 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of thing.
Okay.
But then since changing the difficulty, making that kingdom stuff easier, it's been great. It's been easier, surprisingly. Yeah. But the story's still great. I still love that damn story, man. It's like
when you get to it, when you're not
when you're
not losing because you're down.
Well, that's also part of the thing is that you kind of have to take time away from doing the adventure stuff to manage your kingdom, and like a lot of the time, I'd feel like you could spend like half an hour just on your kingdom management screen because like new events will pop up, things take time. Your player like. If there's any like kingdom events that your player, your character has to like take part in, then it just skips all that time. Like you can't actually do anything.
Oh right.
So and then like once all that time is skipped, new events have like happened and
right.
And it just
and that's kind of cool.
It
makes
is.
The world feel like it's living and breathing.
Yeah,
moving
it is
on.
cool, but like, man, it just felt so overwhelming.
Swamped.
It felt like I couldn't upgrade anything because it took time away. Like, it would do a time skip.
Yeah.
And in that time, I couldn't assign people to do things.
Yeah.
So for ages, I just had all these like ranking up missions that I was putting off because I was assigning people to do the more like pressing missions.
Mm-hmm.
But
feels like you may have like done some mismanagement here.
Yeah.
Feels like the ranking up is probably the thing that makes the
Well, yeah, but-
missions easier to do.
well, yeah, that's the thing. But then I just felt like I was in this spiral of like I can't put off these
Right.
these timed events because it'll like
Because you'll lose.
damage my my kingdom. But then
you
like
got to take the hit in the short term, right?
yeah, that's exactly it. But yeah, it's great, and I'm loving the story. Like it has a sort of story that you don't follow this sort of, you don't kind of know what the main story is. You're just sort of like, I think I described this
sound
before.
great.
No,
You should know what the main story is.
it's great. Like,
oh, is it? Do you
well,
mean
you
like
don't-
there's a bunch of different stories going on and you don't know which one is actually?
yeah, but they all sort of connect
Okay.
together.
Okay. Now I understand.
It's really cool. I really like it. It's
Yeah,
great.
I think I'm gonna have to pick this one up. It
Yeah.
sounds like it's okay. So let me ask you a question, and then we're gonna jump over to Andrew and grill him with questions. Let me ask you this one question. Now, do you remember there was a game called Mount and Blade?
Mhm.
Did you ever play that? I
No.
remember we talked about it quite a lot.
No, the only thing
early
that
on in
the
this
only
podcast lifetime.
it sounded really cool, but the only thing that made me not want to play is that it's quite old. I don't want to deal with those graphics.
Damn
Savone can
graphics.
understand that.
Weren't
Yeah,
you
I-
just
I
talking
feel
about
you.
how cool it was to see Halo? And like,
Yeah, in the modern graphics, like what?
okay.
Were you a big Mountain Blade fan?
I played a lot of Mountain Blade. And here's the thing: I fully recognize the Mountain Blade. It was janky. Did you play any Mountain Blade?
I did play a bit of it on my a friend's recommendation.
Yeah. It's janky as hell. It's super ugly and it's clumsy to like play for a while, and then you kind of something clicks and it's like, oh, there's heaps here. That's really cool. But there's just like some problems that really.
Haven't they got a new one coming down the line?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, there is. That's what I was going to say. Is that there is a new one coming pretty soon, and I
Yeah.
am probably going to try that.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
probably not going to be great. I mean, they're never great,
Why?
but they're still fun.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
So should
it
I
really
play
is.
it?
Based on what you're telling me, you like in Pathfinder,
Yeah.
yes.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it is a slow burn to like you go from, I mean, assuming that the new one is anything like the old ones, you go from like a poor, powerless, like slummy kind of dude to like a dude running an army,
That's
invading castles.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
there's and the growth to that is very organic.
That's cool.
And it feels
Yeah.
good.
Organic. I think that's the key word for this Pathfinder game. Is that the story feels organic.
It's good.
Yeah.
Is it got any relation to the tabletop?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah, it straight up is.
I'm gonna play.
It's like you know the Baldur's Gate and
Yeah.
all that. It's exactly like that. And you see the dice rolls and like you're doing perception checks and all sorts of
Andrew's
stuff.
eyes literally just like
Yeah.
got so wide.
I have no idea how I
It's-
haven't heard of this.
it's
This is like
straight up-
right
it's-
up my alley.
It's
yeah.
straight up D&D. It's probably the closest like video game D&D game I've ever played.
I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
The
Is it Zelda Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
I knew it.
The only thing that sort of bugs me is that you've got all the D&D classes, but like there's no way to sort of test out them.
Right. So you have to commit to
Yeah,
a class.
you basically
that is
don't know
frustrating.
if the class that you picked actually is any good until
that's
like
just-
5 levels in.
What game have you ever played where it's like, oh, I'll just test a class?
Dude, D&D is so complicated.
Yeah.
You gotta like know what you're in for.
I mean, in theory, if they've done their work, they're all fairly evenly balanced.
Yeah,
There shouldn't be
yeah.
like a good one and a
Well,
bad one.
there was a while I was like, oh man, did I make the wrong class choice? And I was like already like 10 hours into it.
Yeah. And now you're 90 hours in.
Yeah,
and
now
then
I'm
it's
90
like,
hours
well,
in, but no, it's great. Like all the classes are pretty great, but it just felt this thing of like, man, I wish I could like get a better idea of what I'm in for with like a class that like its
what
description
class-
sounds cool, but like what's the actual gameplay like?
Yeah.
What class are you playing?
I picked a Magus, and I picked the
Okay.
subclass Eldritch Archer.
I mean, that sounds cool.
They're magic arrows.
Would you recommend it? If I pick up this game
Yeah.
tomorrow, would you say that's the class you got to play?
Well, that I don't know. What's your play style? What do you like doing? You like standing back, casting
Consider
spells?
me a blank slate. Consider me a homunculus in which to.
But that just means you don't know what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to...
If only you
what
could
if-
demo some
Hey.
classes before.
What I like is discovering what I like. I like to I'd like to go
Just
in.
play Zelda.
You know what? That sounds like a good idea.
I think you should play the Zelda
Is there a Zelda class?
Yeah.
Is there?
No.
Is there one that
I don't know.
gets to climb trees and mountains?
I don't think so.
Did you play a bit of Destiny 2? Is it Destiny? Divinity.
Divinity?
2.
Yeah. I played a lot of Divinity too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also
That-
played Destiny 2. Didn't you?
Yes, I
Yeah,
did also
you
play
did also play
Destiny.
Destiny 2. I always get the names mixed up.
Dude, so do I. I always
what-
have to think for a second
Yeah,
before I
yeah.
say.
Do you think that Pathfinder is better?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
I like the Divinity combat a lot.
Mm.
Like I really like that turn-based thing. But I think the story in Pathfinder, at least for me, is way better.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about this on other podcasts. With Divinity, you're very quickly dealing with gods, and you're like some kind of chosen one.
I mean,
and you got to
it's in
save the
name,
world
though.
from
In
everything.
all fairness, it's
Yeah,
called
Sure,
Divinity.
sure. But like, you start off in Divinity from like kind of humble beginnings. Like you're not like some super powerful guy, but then it's revealed, oh, actually, you are
You are the
I
chosen
feel
one.
like
very, very quickly.
if you're playing a game called Divinity,
Yeah,
you kind
get
of
it.
know what you're getting into.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and that's fine. But like, the thing I really liked in Pathfinder was that it's not like that.
Would you
Like-
say that you have to find your own path?
You do have to find your own path.
Nice. Severn is trying to suppress a
Sorry.
laugh.
This is gross.
What do you mean?
What? How do you envision this demo going? Your class demo?
I really don't know. I think maybe
That's a
just
good
like
question.
you go through like a dungeon, but you like level up like 10 times faster, and you just roll through and be
Switch
like,
classes.
oh yeah, I get it. Yeah,
Mm.
because
That's pretty much what Oblivion did.
Yeah. The idea of
you-
like you have to use different weapons and different stuff on the way through, right?
Yeah, you're in this little micro dungeon.
yeah.
While you're trying to like escort or like follow the emperor,
Mm.
and based on the way you solve various problems about the dungeon, it just is like, here's your class now, and then you can be like, nah, different one.
Yeah, yeah.
There's always-
that is kind of cool.
I want the class that grows by jumping. That's always
Yeah. There's a DLC coming for Pathfinder, which is like an endless dungeon that I then think
Is it
I'm
called
gonna.
Delve?
No, it's not. But it is like an underground thing.
I
As a
wonder if
dungeon,
they've got like a rogue like mode.
Ooh, you said the
Ooh.
magic word.
Ooh.
rogue like
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
maybe, probably. I don't know. It's not out yet. But I thought that would be like the perfect thing for like trying out lots of different classes.
Oh yeah, it would.
Severn, have you ever played a roguelike?
I think I mistakenly downloaded one on my phone.
What was it
once.
called?
I don't know, man. But like every play session was different. Is that the main
sounds-
thing of a roguelike?
Yeah, to some degree. It's more like it's one of the hallmarks of roguelikes is like the permanent death thing. Like you get one run and it's randomized at least to some degree. There are certainly
I
random
think items
elements.
were like random as well. Like
Mm.
I
Yeah.
picked up the same thing and it was different. The
Oh,
next
you
time.
know what? Was it called Pixel Dungeon?
It might be.
Because there's a bunch of different Pixel Dungeons on mobile of varying quality, but there's some really good ones.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was probably one of those.
And what did you think?
I uninstalled it shortly after.
Now,
I
let
can't
me
get
ask you why.
Hang
Hang on, let me ask you why.
Oh,
Why?
it needs a strong tutorial. I didn't know what I was doing.
Part of one of, I guess, another hallmark of roguelikes is they don't tell you what.
Oh,
anything.
okay.
It's discovery is a big element,
Mm.
and learning is a big element of like getting better at that game.
Okay. Does not appeal to me. I made the
come?
mistake and then I just don't pick them up. What's that?
How come?
That's not what I want in a video game.
Is it the permanence? The idea that you don't have anything to show for the work you put into
That
it?
may be one.
Yeah.
just randomly changing things that I should know do a specific thing is annoying.
That's part of what, like, so in the Pixel Dungeon series, for example, you will often pick up scrolls and potions, and it doesn't tell you what they do, and you have to use them to find out, or you have to find some way of identifying them, and it is randomized every time, and that's part of what makes it's one of the elements of difficulty is like figuring out how to safely discover what each of these elements does.
Did you have like long play sessions when you played this Pixel Dungeon game? Because mine
Initially, no.
Okay, but how long would you like give it until it started to?
Oh, I see
resonate
what you're
with you?
saying. I mean, yeah, I would play it a few times and be like, do I see a way forward? I guess is the first question I ask myself.
Yeah.
Do I see my way? Do I see a way to improve at playing this game? Are there things I could have done better on that run? And if the answer is no, then I'm like, no, thank you. But usually the answer is yes. I mean, in a good game.
Okay, maybe I just picked up the wrong one.
Did you ever play FTL?
No, I've heard it's good.
It's another roguelike. You might actually enjoy that one. It's a little less
Not
kind of like
I can safely say
experimental.
I haven't had a lot of success playing roguelikes, which is why I don't play them.
There are roguelikes where you do have some progression, like Rogue Legacy.
Rogue Light.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Rogue Light. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I played Into the Breach quite a bit on the Switch, which is kind of like a Rogue Light.
That's by the FTL guys, right?
I think so. I think it is, yeah. And I really enjoyed that. Just it's kind of a tactics mech game.
Oh, yeah,
But, you know, you unlock new mechs that just unlocks new mechanics, essentially. And, yeah, spent many hours playing that.
Blake, did you say Rogue Legacy earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Rogue Legacy?
Did you ever play Rogue Legacy?
No, I have very particular tastes when it comes to video games.
Rogue Legacy is super fun. That's all I got to say on that front. Oh, I can feel his frustration. No, go ahead.
I probably won't pick it up, Nick.
That's fine. I'm just saying you're wrong and dumb. Anyway, no.
Wow.
Before you can have anything to say about that.
Just let me say it, and then we'll move on. Andrew, you ready for some questions? And so far, you're not dumb, but you are wrong about your choice in games.
The thing you like is wrong.
I think we're all in agreement that
You're having fun wrong. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Clearly, you don't know what fun is because my taste is the best taste.
Okay.
I think that's the rule, right?
Yeah, idle games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're actually doing things in the game, then that's not a fun game.
Yeah. What you got to do is put it in your pocket.
Hey, does
and let it play itself.
Does Red Dead have a mode where you just like put the controller down and walk away, and you just like numbers keep going up?
You could look at a watch, I think, and I think the watch.
Hey, you know what? That sounds pretty fun.
You know what? But nothing happens apart from like the time of day turns. And
But
then
as
the days-
That's
the dates
progression.
go up.
That's progression.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then the day goes up, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. So like calendar pages.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds fun. Now we're talking my style. All right, Andrew.
When was the last real game you played, Nick?
Oh man, what do you categorize as real?
Like not an idle game.
Hearthstone.
I suppose that is a real game. Yeah, all right. That's really on the line though.
Let me have a quick look at my phone.
It was Zelda. It was Zelda, right? That's the last.
No, I mean I played some Mario. I played lots of things on the Switch. I've tried a bunch of different games that weren't good. Like I've been trying to find good brick breaker games for various reasons, and most of them aren't good. Most of them are bad.
Brick Breaker.
Yeah, there's like you shoot a ball and try and break bricks.
Okay.
That kind of.
Why?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question instead.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get started? And I'm assuming this is specifically at GGG as sound guy.
I got made redundant.
Ooh.
Yeah, from
Where?
a previous job. I worked for a startup that I don't know if they're still around, but they were building their audio team, and then they realized that it wasn't a sustainable. What they expanded to, it wasn't sustainable, so they let a bunch of us go.
Yep.
And
was this the audiobook company? Yeah, that sounded real interesting when you were telling me
it
about
was. It's conceptually interesting. I never really worked for me.
Yeah.
I think it just depends on the person.
Yeah.
The conceit was like a cinematic soundtrack and sound effects to audiobooks with an algorithm that tracks your reading speed, so that when you're reading a book, like as you're progressing through it, it sort of learns how you read, and so that everything starts to sync up after you've read a couple of books,
That's conceptually cool.
Conceptually, yeah, but it never really worked out for me.
Well, I guess the problem is if it's an audiobook, are you even reading?
In this particular instance, yes.
Okay, so
it was
more like
sound effects.
soundtrack.
Yeah, so it's the idea you like on an iPad or something, you would be reading the book with a cinematic soundtrack. Yeah, a lot of the times it would be immersive at points and then distracting at others.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, so it got made redundant. Yeah, and then I needed a job.
Yeah,
and I got very lucky.
Had you studied like sound design or?
Yeah. So I mean, I've been doing various music and sound design things since I was 13, 14.
Okay.
Yeah. So
a while.
and then I did do a year of formal education at SAE, which is just a sound engineering school.
Cool.
Yep.
So then you got hired by GGG.
Yes.
And you were the sole audio engineer
for 7 years.
Very long time.
Yeah.
Far longer probably than you should have been.
Probably, yes. How many NPCs worth of dialogue did we have?
19.
Yeah. Editing dialogue is one of the worst parts of my job.
Why is that?
Well, a lot of the job you can multitask. You can have some form of distraction or entertainment while doing your job, but with dialogue you really have to focus just on that.
Right.
And it's just a very nitpicky process that takes a very long time.
Right.
Yeah.
You're listening to take after take after take.
Exactly.
And you're looking at the script and you're making sure that it matches up and making changes where it's necessary. It's very detail oriented.
It is, and that's definitely not my favorite part of the job. But
what is your favorite part of the job?
I mean, when we get to do really creative sound design is always like more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Just the effects team, they've grown so much recently as well.
Yeah,
and they've started putting a lot more detail into the way that they do effects with multiple parts to the effects and stuff.
You're talking skill effects like the spells.
Yeah, skill effects for. I mean, even
and stuff like that.
Yeah, even league effects, or I mean, it's just across the board. I think the standard has just been raised so much with some of the more recent onboarding.
That's true.
And that just means that from our perspective, we get to do way more interesting stuff. So that's fun. I like that. It's fun doing interesting implementation stuff, working with programmers trying to solve a problem or create something interesting. That's always fun as well.
Can you think of an example of something that's in Path of Exile right now that you were like particularly fond of doing or proud of by the time it came out? Didn't mean to put you on the spot. So
yeah. It's so hard to know.
Yeah,
it all goes by so quickly. Our 3-month cycle. It's really hard to put a finger on a single thing that I could say.
The elder stuff I always really liked. He's quite
the elder stuff,
as in like the boss, the elder.
Oh sure, yeah.
Sweeping in and doing stuff.
There's some cool stuff there. I mean, I think I like some of the Katava stuff that was fun to do, just because it was like such a climactic moment, in the game.
Screeching metal, and all sorts of stuff. That's quite cool.
I mean, my favorite obviously is when I get a chance to do music. That's always fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's one. We've asked this of almost everybody. Are there any office rituals or quirks that you partake in?
It'll be the vape crew.
Vape?
Yeah, that'll be.
I don't think we've ever talked about the vape crew, have we?
You were hanging your head pretty low just now.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not proud of it. I didn't really want to say that on a podcast.
it's out now.
But yeah, I mean, that would be a weird quirk of our office, how we have very few smokers.
Yeah.
And many vapors.
I mean,
Well, there were a few people that switched from
Yeah, it's a
smoking
slow
to-
transition.
Oh, it's virtually
vaping,
everyone, yeah.
yeah.
Now, I think there's a couple of people, one or two, but... So that's definitely a weird office quirk that we have.
all the cool kids.
But there
live in the
are
office.
definitely some people who weren't smoking to begin with and just started vaping.
Yeah,
There's
that's
there's
been a
more
problem.
people doing that.
has
than-
been a problem, man. I mean, there's probably been at least 5 people who are like now on that nicotine buzz.
Yeah,
yeah.
the vape crew has kind of doubled in size.
It has, yeah. It's not good, not at all. But yeah, that is definitely a weird. I'm sure the other offices adjacent to us hate it, but
I mean, in fairness, it's not like you guys are blocking the entrance or anything.
No.
You're all y'all are
off
just
to the side.
yeah. I'm gonna jump ahead to I think probably the most important question that we always ask our guests: hot or cold leftover pizza?
Either. I don't have a preference.
Whoa.
No, that's the wrong answer.
I don't think we've had someone that didn't have a.
No, that we don't want you sitting on a fence here.
No, I mean
Choose a side.
It's down to what's easier at the time.
Or is it the type of hot reheated pizza? Like, would you eat cold over microwave?
Are you trying to like
Okay,
put words in his
okay.
mouth? Blake?
I would.
so what you're saying is that you prefer cold pizza?
I would have cold over microwave.
Yep.
Microwaved is garbage.
Yep.
Yeah, but then if I had the time, I would have maybe have oven over
That's
cold.
right. That's right. Oven pizza superiority.
Have you tried sandwich pressed?
No.
Get 2 slices,
Put
slap
them
them
together.
together, sandwich press.
I'm gonna try that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It does. Honestly, I haven't tried that yet, but I really should.
It's-
Because it
it's
just
the
sounds
only-
like a grilled cheese, and I love to. I
Yeah,
love a
it's the
grilled
only
cheese.
way I'll reheat pizza is sandwich press.
Have you not even in an oven?
No.
Why?
Dries it out.
It makes it slightly crispier. It doesn't. It doesn't turn it into like.
I like the sandwich press because it's like the topping of both can just melt and merge into one delicious it becomes a new thing. It's a
then
new product.
You have less topping exposure for your tongue.
I mean, you
the
chew.
tongue to topping ratio goes way off.
I mean, are you like a snake that just like swallows things whole without chewing? Like
I mean, it depends.
you do chew, right?
Sometimes. I try not to. This is the second most important question we've got. Space or dinosaurs?
Yeah, this one went around the office.
Yeah.
Already.
This was a
Okay.
weird one that really went around.
It did, but it's so this.
But we want it on the record. We want
You
your
want it
answer
on the record.
Yeah.
It's space. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just on.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, it's just yeah, space.
Yep.
Yeah.
No more.
How do you
decide.
how do you envision that option?
Well, that's the problem with the question. is
Yeah.
It's so vague.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it's as vague as it needs to be.
yeah. I mean, I would just simply put it down to what I find more interesting. What would I watch on TV? Something sci-fi or old animals.
Yeah,
interesting.
that's true. Yeah, if I had a choice of like a documentary about dinosaurs or a documentary about space.
I want to get that Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fairness, David Attenborough has done some really good documentaries about
I know.
dinosaurs.
I've been watching them recently as well. So I don't
Not to say that like dinosaurs is the correct answer because it isn't.
no, definitely not. Who are
But-
dinosaur people?
I remember Ryan was heavily on dinosaur side.
I'm pretty sure my wife is a dinosaur person.
Where
What
were you
about
on?
in
I
the
don't
room?
mean she's like part dinosaur, although I can't confirm that.
Oh, that's worrying.
Yeah.
You should be able to confirm that.
Should
Nick.
be able
Yeah.
to confirm that. She does eat a lot of raw meat, which is no, she doesn't. Sorry, honey, if you're listening, she won't.
Where did you sit on it, Sav?
I was towards dinosaur,
Ah, yeah.
but again, the way you interpret this question,
That's what's so good about the question. Is how it's interpreted.
because if you ask me, Andrew, well, what is space?
Because all of space.
All of 99%
space.
of nothingness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because
Yeah.
if you want to watch nothingness,
You just get you. You just get teleported to a random spot in space.
Yeah, and you're just watching.
But that's adding very specific stuff to the question. You know,
I know.
You either get a random dinosaur teleported to you, or you get randomly teleported to a spot
I
in space.
still think I would prefer the random space location.
You might end up on a planet. You might end up in the middle of nowhere.
You might end up inside a T-Rex.
Maybe.
I think I would prefer space still.
An alien T-Rex.
You got to get the percentages in. Like space is how much of space is planets?
Space.
Very
There's
little.
a lot of space. That's why it's called space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really have no dog in this.
I mean, if that's the distinguishing thing, you got to be like, are the dinosaurs alive? Because it could just be bones.
Oh, I'm cool with that too. I'd
You'd
go to
rather
a
look
museum.
at bones.
I'd go to a museum, man.
You'd go to a museum over getting teleported into space.
Just nothingness.
Well, if
for
you're
me?
teleported into space, you're
Yeah, with
dead,
no suit.
right?
Yeah. But then
Yeah,
if a
you mean
dinosaur
executed?
teleports to you, it could be a T-Rex. It could eat you.
But then, like, what? I mean, hypothetically, there's so many different dinosaurs.
Yep. You might get a little chicken.
What's
and then
the
you'd be like
chance? Yeah.
disappointed.
You're just a literal chicken.
Yeah.
It could just be a crocodile.
Yeah.
We've all already seen a
Are
crocodile.
they dinosaurs
That's
or are
cool
they
too, man.
separate?
Crocodiles are cool.
Crocodiles are fine.
Are crocodiles
I guess.
technically on the dinosaur line? I think they're separate. I thought they were separate.
I'm pretty sure they are. I mean,
Pretty sure I've seen a tree where dinosaurs are off on a different branch.
Is that true?
That I'm pretty sure.
one of the defining characteristics of dinosaurs, I think, is that the legs moved from off to the side to underneath. So under that requirement,
Yeah.
crocodiles don't count.
But then, like the flying dinosaurs aren't counted as dinosaurs either, right?
Birds.
No, the flying lizards aren't counted as dinosaurs. Like your pterodactyls and stuff.
I don't know actually.
I'm pretty sure they weren't. And the ones in the Loch Ness monster types, they're not counted as dinosaurs either.
What are you talking about? We're talking about
real things.
I consider them dinosaurs.
We're talking about things that actually
But then
exist.
it's what?
like-
Okay, so
I'd consider Nessie a dinosaur. But then, what do you consider space? Are we excluding planets from space?
nah, because they're in space. You could just end up on Earth.
Oh, so you're just saying everything?
So Earth or some bones.
You want to be around anything?
All right, let's move on. This is an interesting question. I don't know if we've ever asked this one. If we have, I don't remember. But favorite song.
Oh, yeah. That I don't know. That's difficult for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite song is tough. Like
It is.
What's your favorite song right now?
What's the last song you really enjoyed? Maybe you're like, oh yeah, this is my jam.
So this is such a hard thing to. I guess the last song that I really enjoyed was there was a new song by Dirty Loops that just got released on YouTube this morning. That was amazing. I listened to that before I got here. Or Holy Ghost by Bentley.
I have heard of neither of these things.
I know it's it's a problem when you're a musician. You have like a very different taste in music.
You go right down that rabbit hole. Of
Yeah,
specific
yeah.
and obscure stuff.
Yes, yeah.
So, would you recommend them?
Yeah, check out Dirty Loops. They are maybe some of the best jazz fusion musicians I've seen in my entire
You
life.
said the magic words. I'm totally about jazz fusion.
They are so good. Their bassist is amazing. Bentley is another band I would recommend. They're more on the sort of alternative rock sort of female vocal, but they're again absolutely incredible musicians.
Here's an interesting one. What album has had the biggest impact on you?
Probably In Rainbows by Radiohead.
Oh.
Yeah. I think they did a lot of clever stuff in that album that just inspired me. I think it was like maybe my first ever exposure to complex time, which is like when you play music I don't know how to explain it. That's
Like
yeah.
when the beat signature or time signature isn't 4/4.
Isn't 4/4.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the opening track is in 5/4, and I think
Nice.
that was like the first exposure that I had to that, and yeah.
You had that answer ready to go.
That was wow. It's always Radiohead are my favorite band, so it's always a big reference point for me.
Yeah. Okay. So there was an Andrew before Radiohead and after Radiohead.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. Okay.
He was born actually when that album came out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there wasn't an Andrew before. He
Before.
was
Oh.
born
Yeah.
listening to that album.
I was actually
Gotcha.
Joshua before that.
It's a weird name change to do in response to. Is there an Andrew in Radiohead?
It's all in the album, man. It's in the
wow.
code. You got to listen to it.
Okay, I'm sure it'll make sense. It has to be played backwards, and then I'll understand.
Sure. Yeah.
You gotta play it backwards while watching Wizard of Oz, and it all syncs up, and you
Right.
understand.
Yep, I've heard that one. What's your favorite video game?
I would say the Elder Scrolls series in general is always.
Do you have a favorite in that series?
I love different things about all of them because they change so much. Like I love the like in Morrowind, the freedom to do completely insane game breaking things was
Levitation.
like the
I
levitation
can't
stuff.
believe they got rid of levitation.
I know,
Heartbreaking.
and every time they release a game, it's been a disappointment to a certain degree because like
They keep restricting the freedom.
yeah, they keep restricting, and yeah, I can understand why that puts people off, but I still think the newer ones have like Oblivion and Skyrim have plenty to enjoy.
It's interesting, especially with the Elder Scrolls series. You see, as they tighten up the scope of the game, the quality goes up.
Yes,
in terms
it
of,
does.
Like, it just feels more polished.
Yep.
Less buggy.
Mhm.
But one of the things that I absolutely miss about Morrowind that I think is actually a great loss for that series is the level of exploration that levitation provided. So I have a very distinct memory of going into dungeons, and you would explore like the ground floor, like Daedric areas, and then you might find a levitation potion, and then you might just take it in your inventory and be on your way. But if you use it, turns out there's a whole area above you, and there's like a whole sub quest that's like triggered by a book, and there's like all these glass items, and it's like, oh my gosh, they just hit all of the stuff that you would not have seen if you hadn't.
And now all of that stuff's quite linear, you know, like all the dungeons just loop around to the start, and you know, you don't have. It's still fine. I understand why they did that because that kind of exploration isn't for everyone. Like I suppose you weren't forced into doing it.
No,
but
they need to find a balance between the smoothness that like the looping dungeons provided, where it's just it feels feels clean. You don't feel like you're wasting time by backtracking, and that joy of discovery and that feeling of being rewarded that like true exploration and going off the beaten path provides.
Yeah, definitely.
And like looking under things, for example,
Yeah.
looking above things. They just have never.
You're saying Morrowind felt more 3D.
Morrowind was by far more 3D. Like you literally there is an entire area of the game that you have to navigate through levitation. The Telfir Tower, if I'm recalling the name correctly. In fact, I think that whole area had a key puzzle, which I don't think I've seen in an Elder Scrolls game since.
No,
where you just find a key. You have to find what the key is for, and finding that where the key is for gives you another key.
Oh, well. I remember in like the first presentation of Skyrim, they showed like a door with a like puzzle lock thing, and you had an item in your inventory, and you had to like you looked at the item and you had to match the symbols on the door.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow, that's really cool. But then that was just how you opened every single door
puzzle
in
the entire game was pretty much just that puzzle.
Yeah.
It was very.
there's 3 animals here.
Yeah,
What do I do with those?
It was.
Oh,
It
okay.
was. That was one of the. That was a big disappointment.
Yeah, because it made you think like, oh man, it's like you got to look at all the details and like all these dungeons, but then it's just the same puzzle every dungeon.
I don't know.
Say,
It does surprise me though, despite all of those flaws, that like I can still enjoy those games so much, and they're really the only big open world games that I let myself play because they're so time consuming.
You didn't play any Witcher?
No, I watched my wife play a bit of Witcher because
Yeah.
she played Witcher 3 and she loved it. And maybe I'll get there one day when I retire.
It's a big game. It's just.
I'm pretty much saying that about most games nowadays. Is I'll play them at some point, but it'll probably be when I retire. Yeah.
Let me ask you this:
Mm.
in Elder Scrolls 6, which they've announced,
Yes.
what feature do you want to see? Like, what do you want out of that game?
I want Bethesda to be better. At the moment, I mean, obviously there's been a lot of controversy about some of the stuff they've been doing recently, and I just hope that that does not translate.
I think that's a fear shared by many,
Yeah.
including myself. You look at their current track record and you go, oh no,
Yeah,
Elder Scrolls
yeah.
is coming out.
Is it really happening?
no.
Are they finally going down that route where, like, yeah, I don't know. It's a problem, but an actual feature. I would love for them to do a game that you could play the story through with other people.
Like multiplayer, as in co-op?
Just not even, yeah. So I don't know, max party of 4.
You mean
Had
like
the story
like
be around.
Divinity?
Well, yeah.
You've got like another player.
Yeah, even that. I mean, when I've played these games from young, I played them with a friend, and we would just. It was like a big moment playing those games, and then we followed all the development of Oblivion and stuff. And if we could actually play that together, that would just be amazing to do that. You know, to actually experience the story with someone else. Yeah. That would be a feature that I'd love. Unfortunately, again with Fallout. You know,
Yeah, I feel to me when I hear multiplayer in Elder Scrolls, I'm like, no thanks, because
oh yeah, I
it
understand
opens
it.
up so many.
Well, if like it's interesting. Like if they did restrict it to like just 2 players,
Yeah, something like that.
then you're playing with someone that is on the same like mindset as you.
Yeah.
You would hope, because like if you had like
Just go off in a completely different.
yeah, well
You
that's
never see them again.
yeah, well that's the thing. If you had like something more like open world, like more with just random people in there, you don't know what the hell's going on.
I wouldn't.
Like, that would be a
wouldn't want
disaster.
that at all.
Yeah.
It's more like, I mean, obviously this day and age, people can't often just sit down and play like a split screen thing. You know, everyone is busy, so you know, but doing that just online, being able to play with a friend and just experience the entire story together would be a great experience for me. I mean, I do agree with you though. Like the idea of introducing multiplayer into that series could be very problematic.
I mean, there are mods that have tried it, but it makes me. I also raises a lot of questions, like how does stealth work in multiplayer? Can you attack your friend? Like, there's lots of things that even just on a basic functionality level it raises a lot of questions. What happen? How permanent are objects in the world if you're offline and your friend is playing in your world?
Yeah.
Are they taking things away from you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there would be a lot of design that has to go into it. But
Did you play any Divinity 1?
no, I never played Divinity 1. I never played Divinity 2. Yeah, I think I actually might have gotten it when I bought Divinity 2, but never installed it. Yeah,
because that had the thing where you can play with one other person and they just take over the other one of the party members.
they do that in Divinity 2, right? That's
Yeah,
exactly the
but
same,
you can play with 4 in Divinity
Oh,
2.
can you?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
And I think, like, because I was playing with 4 actual people, and it gets into a bit of a clusterfuck because people are off doing their own thing. You know, someone will run into and get into a fight in town, and suddenly the whole town is against you, and you're like, I don't even know why this is happening.
Yeah. No,
Like-
it's a bit I mean, I just think in that situation, I just think about like playing D&D with friends and how chaotic that is.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like trying to get anything to happen is
Oh,
a
yeah,
nightmare. Yeah, and 4
And
people
that-
is just too much, really.
Yeah, and at least in D&D you have a dungeon master
Yeah,
too.
yeah, trying to guide you along, and
you can't really. I don't know if you can have an AI dungeon master that's like that good at like pushing people in the right direction that they need to go in.
Left 4 Dead did a pretty good job.
That's still not an open world.
No,
That's true.
Linear game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, fair point.
that's some corridors.
All right, we've got time for one more question.
We can keep going, I think, can't we?
It
Is there a?
What time is it?
is 4 o'clock.
I'm happy to go for
Okay,
up to
we've got-
4:30. We've got plenty of time.
Alright.
for many more
Go
questions.
to 4:30. Yep.
I'm curious about this one just because I know Blake is dying for this one to be asked. Do you have any ghost stories?
Oh, do I have any ghost stories? No, I don't. That's actually
Correct.
straight up, yeah.
Nobody has any ghost stories. Is the correct answer?
Blake,
Ghosts
do you
don't
have any?
exist?
Do you have any ghost stories?
I've already told my ghost story.
Okay.
When?
I was on a different. It was on the podcast you weren't on, Nick. You have to go back and listen to it. It was on. It was on.
You know I won't do that, Blake. You know I won't. All right, I might though.
It was on the podcast titled "The Most Off Topic." I think it was.
Okay.
There's a big debate about dinosaurs in space in that one.
As there always should
Yep.
be, except that, I mean, it shouldn't be that much of a debate because space should always win.
What about
Severn
dinosaurs
just
on a
shrugged.
spaceship?
All
silently.
right. Yeah. Okay.
It's, what game has had the biggest impact on you?
I mean, again, I would either say that it would be the Elder Scrolls series, just because I guess it's like linked with like nostalgia and childhood
Yeah.
memories. But in terms of what I do for a job now, it would have been Amnesia.
Oh,
Dark
yeah,
Descent.
yeah.
Just because in horror games, audio really does play a significant role, and just the environment that game creates.
Yep.
Being genuinely scared while playing a game is something that I haven't experienced.
Let me
very
ask
often.
you. Did you ever beat that game?
Yeah.
I think you're the only other. I played. I got to the. I got past the part where you were being chased by an invisible thing in the water.
Okay. Yep. That was terrifying.
Yep. And then I got a little farther. I think I got to a part where you're like exploring some hallways in like a library looking area. And there was a part where I heard something behind my character. I turned around. There was a monster for just a brief second, and then it was gone. And I was like, "Cool, I'm done."
I'm done. Yeah. It's funny that there was a part in the game. It might have been the same part that actually kind of ruined it for me. It was like you saw the monster, and you saw it for a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
And it really took the fear out of the game.
Oh, it is kind of a goofy looking monster.
It is, yeah. And the problem is that I actually played it like a long time after the game came out. So the graphics, like your standard continuously goes up, and then you play an old game like that, and they got by really well on atmosphere. But then you see this like, could have used a few more polys there. Come on, and
This goofy ass mouth hanging down.
yeah.
Looking like an elephant man. Oh man. But I still can't play that game.
Yeah.
And they came out with like a side story thing where you're playing as, I think, a woman who was imprisoned, but then you keep finding records.
I don't remember that.
I shouldn't say anything else then.
Yeah, maybe I'll go back to it.
And then they had a Machine for Pigs.
Machine for
which I
Pigs,
never
and
touched.
I never touched it either. Yeah, I
Different
sort
company,
of
right? Different developer.
What was it?
No, I thought there was some relation to it.
I thought it was like developed by two companies, right? It was the original
maybe.
company and a different one.
I just know that there was some external involvement. Yeah.
Yeah, but I never touched that either. I think I'm happy with my experience with Amnesia, and I'll probably just leave it at that. Yeah.
Is it because you're terrified to play another game like that?
Yeah. I mean, I just don't have the stamina to worry about being frightened while playing a game nowadays. So.
I think games, like, they're so much better at creating that like fear than like watching a movie because you're the one doing it.
I'm really bad with horror movies though.
Yeah.
So I even horror movies really get to me.
At least in a horror movie, you have that like separation where you're like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even be in this situation. I'll just turn around and walk away.
Over your actions, it makes it. Yeah, it does make it more frightening in a lot of ways. Yes. Yeah.
Talking about movies, what are you watching at the moment in terms of TV/movies?
Oh, garbage. I watched the recent Mummy movie.
Oh, Jesus.
That was garbage.
Okay.
Why? Don't do that. I don't
Okay,
know why
good.
I did that. It was a waste of time.
Yep.
But it's the beginning of a universe, the dark universe.
Oh, I don't. It's just so
Wait,
bad.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you knew about this, right?
No.
They wanted
Bringing
to
back
make
all the
a-
classics.
Yeah.
They were
right?
trying to make a cinematic universe out of the Mummy.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like, I
oh
think
boy.
they're doing all of the classics right into a same universe.
well, they were
the
planning
plan,
to. That is
yeah.
all on hold
So,
now.
and the Mummy qualifies as a classic.
Well,
yeah, the
classic
Mummy.
monsters, right? Like traditional monsters.
Sure.
You know,
So there's
it'll be
is there gonna be
vampire.
like a
I guess there'll be a
Frankenstein
Frankenstein and a Dracula, and I don't know if that's a plan.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, yeah.
They were like they had a Dracula Origins movie like a few years before,
Dracula Origins?
and that was supposed to be the beginning of the Dark Universe.
right.
But it didn't do very well, so they're like, "Oh, that's not really the beginning of the Dark Universe. This Mummy movie, this is going to be the beginning of the Dark
And then,
Universe."
yeah.
And that didn't do very well, and they're like, "Well, we'll put this Dark Universe on hiatus for a while."
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a. I mean, who cares, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a doomed premise.
Mm.
No one's going to the Mummy going, I want to see more of this world.
Yeah, where's the wolf? What's the Wolfman doing?
No, and I hate this thing that Hollywood is doing, just bringing stuff back again
Yep.
and again. I'm just so sick of that.
In
But-
fairness, like how many Police Academy movies have there been?
I
This isn't a new trend.
I've never seen one, so I don't know.
There's like 6 or 7 of them.
But apart from that, I've been watching the new One Punch,
Oh, cool.
which
yeah.
is interesting. I've been enjoying that.
Yep.
And the new Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well.
There's I didn't even realize
Yeah,
that was
season 6. Yeah,
there. Okay.
which has been enjoyable as well. Yeah. I think that's probably about it.
All right. So, Vernon, have you got any questions?
Andrew introduced me to a really good podcast called The Champs.
Yeah. No, you introduced me to it.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you.
Now, y'all have to fight it out now. Who introduced who? Let's find out.
Definitely you introduced it to me. Yeah. 100%.
My memory.
You're thinking of your buddy Andrew.
Yeah, which Andrew?
Yeah, maybe we
I
should-
wouldn't have been that guy. Did I introduce you to it?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Definitely.
Man, do you agree with some? There are some good premises, some ideas there.
Do you
In
wanna-
terms
can-
of the
can we have
entire
some
podcast.
specifics?
Yeah.
What's give me a premise.
Maybe I shouldn't because it's kind of
This is a podcast about talking about other podcasts.
Yeah.
now.
The one revelation related to audio,
Mm.
and I'm sure you've figured this out, was that a lot of rock music have people singing, like, whereas hip hop, they're not singing.
Yeah.
They're actually
I hear you. Yeah, I know
they're
what
just
you're
talking,
saying. Yeah.
and that was a big revelation to me. Yeah, was that? Did you figure this out on your own as well?
I remember years and years ago seeing people like these, because I was big into like heavy metal and rock, and like all my friends were, and I remember seeing videos that were like shitting on other types of music and being like, oh, like, you know, heavy metal has all these like, you know, all these things, and like say rap is just one person talking or something like that. And
it really is a guy just talking.
Yeah, yeah.
But his tone and everything was essentially like another instrument, whereas rock was a guy actually singing, which sounded pretty funny to me.
That's such. I don't
so-
understand how
I'm
it's a revelation.
confused.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a revelation for me.
Right. I mean, yeah, it is. Well, it is interesting. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I guess it's just looking from like the perspective of being a musician. Yeah.
You were just like, oh yeah, I knew it all along.
Yeah.
Like, this is nothing.
But I like the differences. I mean, I've always been like, I do have my favorite styles of music, but I mean, I do like it all. There's good music in every style of music,
Yeah.
and there's amazing rock and there's amazing hip hop. There's great stuff out there.
There's also terrible music in every style.
That-
of music.
I would say there's mostly
Yeah.
terrible music. It's mostly terrible, but there's still good music in every style of music.
I listen to Spotify at work,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, I got it recommended the worst song I'd ever heard. So bad, I found it immensely funny, and I started just trying to get people to listen to it, and they
What was
would
it?
not listen to it.
What was it?
It okay. So as far as I can tell, there's like a tenor opera singer or something called Andreas Scholl,
Okay.
Okay.
and the song is called Guardian Angel, and it is like you know when you buy like a cheap keyboard and it's got like the demo music.
Yep.
It kind of sounds like the cheap keyboard demo music's rhythm track, and then this really like kind of angelic tenor
Okay.
singing, and then a guy kind of like talking on top of it,
man,
and the
sing
lyrics are
talking.
so terrible
Yeah.
that I couldn't stop laughing.
It's funny
whole
that
song.
I actually really like. There's an artist, a guy called Lewis Cole, and
Okay.
he does that, but well. Like he'll use like those like kind of demo sort of really old school keyboard sounds and
Yeah.
stuff, and then add a lot of sort of funk elements to it.
Oh, nice.
I would definitely recommend checking him out.
What was his name again?
Lewis Cole.
Lewis or Louis?
Google. I don't know.
Okay,
Spotify.
cool.
Yeah.
I will do so. You also listen to a bunch of podcasts.
I do.
Talk about podcasts. What's your favorite?
Oh, again, I go through so much. It's hard to have a favorite, but I did just finish the Adventure Zone,
Mm-hmm.
like first balance. They had their balance series. I just finished that on Friday.
Mhm.
My God, that was an experience. I really loved that. I've been really into D&D podcasts lately.
You should. Have you ever listened to Dragon Friends?
No.
That
Dragon Friends.
that overtook like Adventure Zone. for
Really?
me, yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out definitely.
Yeah.
I mean I really love podcasts. Like for me, a lot of work that we do at work. I mean, you guys can probably attest to this as well. Where like there's stuff that's kind of just monotonous, repetitive.
Yeah.
You just have to get stuff done.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you might have hours where like you need something to keep you sort of stimulated. Yeah.
Mm.
And so I mean, especially during a busy period, I'll just churn through these things.
Yeah.
I always wondered, like with you, because your sound, so you always
Yeah.
have to be like listening. Like,
Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting. Like, I actually think I changed my sound design process so it accommodates the fact that I could actually listen to podcasts.
Wow.
Yeah, well, because the way that audio works in general is that for a single thing, you actually have multiple versions of the same sound.
Yeah.
So the idea is that so it doesn't become monotonous. You have like maybe 6 variations on the same thing,
Yeah.
so that it just sounds a little bit more realistic.
So like
'cause-
a sword hitting a shield, for example.
yeah, for
Clunk.
example. But that means you have to create all of them. So often I'll just make the first one.
Yeah.
And then I know what the sound sources I'm going to be using and make sure it sounds okay. And then I'll just assemble the other ones while I'm listening to a podcast. So,
Right.
it's,
Because you know, like what you're.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you change the pitch, you know what's going to happen.
yeah, exactly. And then you just go back and just review right at the end, make sure that you've not done garbage. And
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I mean, you're just kind of tugging on levers.
Yeah, but that's
that
another
happens.
reason why I really don't like doing dialogue editing. It's because
'Cause
you
you
can't
can't,
listen
you
to
have to-
podcasts, and
yeah.
it's like I mean, I think for Betrayal, as we were saying earlier, with how many 19 was it 16?
I think it was 19. It might actually have been 21 now that I think.
Right.
Oh my God.
It was a lot. It
Yeah,
was
and that
more-
meant that for weeks we were doing nothing but dialogue editing,
Yeah.
and it was just so it makes it very hard because you're doing a lot of that minute work, and it's just focusing on that is tough. Yeah.
I'm in a similar position. I can't listen to anything with lyrics
Mm.
while I'm writing.
Yep.
Because it just
Oh
interrupts that
yeah,
thought
yeah, I
process.
completely understand that.
Yeah.
In fact, at work most of the time I do listen. If I listen to music, it'll be instrumental as well, just because I find it too distracting.
Yep.
Which is strange when I can listen to people talk and not be distracted.
I mean, I guess it's just as long as not too many parts are being engaged.
Yeah, it could
you
be.
can
Yeah.
Put some brain power somewhere else.
Mm.
Have you listened to many sound effects driven podcasts? So an example, Homecoming was one I listened to.
Homecoming.
Homecoming was
Is that a zombie one?
no, it's a Gimlet Media one about a woman who works in a military rehabilitation center. And there's some shadiness going on. I don't want to say anything more. Than
Oh yeah, I've heard it advertised.
I think it's being turned into a TV show.
that. It is.
Yeah,
It's being
yeah.
turned into a TV show for Amazon.
Right. No, I mean, I did listen to some that have those elements, but again, just I do prefer just not almost just to have only talking, just so that I can also put part of my brain to doing something else.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but no, I'm a sucker for podcasts. I listen to too many.
What's one you would absolutely recommend that no one else has heard of?
No one else has heard of.
Joe Rogan.
Oh God, off the top of my head, there's no one would have heard of.
I mean, some people, I assume the creators have heard of it. You've heard of it.
Well, one that
Something that's a little obscure.
like as far as you know, you're the only one that listens to. Like you've never talked to anyone
What's
else
your secret
about
podcast shame?
My secret podcast shame. I mean, I listen to a bunch of music-related composition ones that are very specific. That wouldn't appeal to many people. You'd have to be interested very deeply in music because it goes in depth.
What's it called?
I can't remember. No, that's actually the name of the podcast. No, it's not.
Man, that'd be cool if it was.
I mean, in fairness, I was going to mention
That's
earlier,
a good podcast.
Yeah,
name.
that really is. Yeah.
Oh, what podcast you listening to? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Talking about D&D podcasts and ones with weird names. Not another D&D podcast. Have you heard of that?
Oh yeah, that's one I've been listening to as well. That's the one with Jake from the Jake and Amir thing. Because I was, into
a bunch of the college humor people.
Yeah, I was into college humor when I was in high school, I guess. Is that how
That's
long?
the wrong age group, according to the name.
Yeah, I know.
You
It's
were an
scandalous,
early bloomer.
far too young. Is that right? How long ago was that? 10 years?
I mean, it's
15
been
years?
ongoing for a while.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard for me to put a date on
But
that.
regardless, it was surprising discovering that they started that. And again, I think they do a really good job there. I haven't been caught up with it for a little while because I've been just completely immersed in a different D&D universe.
Isn't it weird and cool that like all these D&D podcasts are coming out quite recently?
It just makes me want to play D&D though,
Yeah.
and that's a
Dude,
a
that's why I've
problem.
been playing Pathfinder.
Yeah, well, I'm going to start doing that. Yeah.
It's like there was just a sudden like explosion of like D&D podcasts.
I think that people just realize that people like role-playing games and people actually enjoy listening to it. I guess
it's
there's
a
a
good-
market for it.
Yeah, it's a good thing to like to podcast as well because there's usually not any visual element to it.
Yeah, a good DM can paint a picture
Yeah.
with words.
Like Adventure Zone, that they do them like across the internet anyway, so they can't even have a board to like show where anybody is anyway.
Right.
So it's all like
That blew me away because I only found that out after listening to a couple of the sub-arcs within that first series, that they do that remotely.
Yeah.
It would be such a hard thing to do remotely.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
I think the way they do it, from what I've managed to piece together from what Griffin has said, is that they all record it separately and then email him their audio.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just
Instead
in
of,
terms of
like, trying to
actually the
record it.
interaction part of it, it's amazing. I mean, you have to deal with like Skype lag.
Yeah. But you never...
You never notice it.
Seems like that.
No,
yeah.
they do a good job of if it does occur that they don't.
Yeah.
It's interesting because even like there's minor audio stuff that I was watching Jonathan on a podcast and his audio would occasionally cut out, and it made it hard for the other people on the podcast to just hold that conversation.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
even like a minor dropout on Skype, that the fact that you never noticed that.
It's.
by the
I mean,
end.
either they've got an
Yeah.
incredible person behind the editing of that. Does Griffin do that
think he does.
himself?
I think he does.
So much work.
It's also fortnightly as well. Like
So
I think they
have time.
have time
Yeah.
to do it. Yeah.
Well, he's also doing a million other podcasts.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So, all right, let's ask one more question. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Okay.
What have you ever just been sitting there going, I wish I'd done this instead?
Yeah. Okay. I
When
mean,
you're listening to all that dialogue. and you're
yeah.
like,
Occasionally, it does come up. That it would have been nice to actually just be a tradie, just a builder. I
You
have
go home at the end of the day and your
Yeah,
work is
I
done.
have mates who do that, and it's often quite a good work-life balance, and you're not at a desk all day,
Yeah.
which I didn't even consider while getting into this profession about sitting at a desk all
Yeah,
day
it's-
and the impact that could have on you.
It's shocking. There's times I've been sitting at my desk and I'll stand up just to go to the kitchen and my knees hurt.
Yeah,
I'm like, what is happening?
I know.
I haven't done anything for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Severn had a standing desk. Do you still have a standing? I haven't
Did
seen
you get one of
standing
those
in a long
remote
time.
jobbies?
It's a standing. It can stand.
One of
Oh.
those transitional ones.
Is it hydraulic?
No, it's got like electric motors in it.
Okay.
That's cool.
But dude, go to a gym. Have you thought of?
Going to the gym. Yeah, I go
Yeah.
5 days a week.
Oh, nice. Blake, have you considered
I have considered.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I decided against it.
Oh shit! All right.
It doesn't. I mean, yeah, it doesn't. I'm sure it helps, but it doesn't discount the fact that you're just sitting
Yeah.
I know.
all day.
Dude, I've
It's-
got like back problems because of sitting at a desk,
yeah, it's a nightmare. It's
and I'm
a-
sure I'm like not the only one
Yeah.
at our office of 120, 30 people.
Oh no.
And just walking does wonders.
Mm.
Like I take the bus home and I'll stop. I get off at a stop that's like probably like half an hour away from my actual house, and I just walk an extra half hour, and
It's
it's bloody
interesting.
great.
I think because you start taking the bus because it dropped you off closer.
Yeah,
to
it dropped
home.
me off closer, and then after a while, I was like, "This is not actually good." Like I was saying, I was standing up and my knees would hurt, and I'm like, "Oh, what is this?" It's because I haven't walked. I for a while I was getting off the train like an hour before, and having an hour walk home. That was great, but yeah, it takes an hour out of your day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an
a lot
hour
of time.
You can spend.
Yeah, and I
sitting
keep
at your
spending.
desk.
It's an hour you could spend
Yeah.
playing Pathfinder. So
Yeah. That's and when I keep spending like staying later and later at work, it just pushes like the time I actually get to bed later and later.
yeah. How do you find the standing desk?
It's good. Having the option of being able to stand when you feel like it is nice. But shit, if you could do it, do it. But I'm usually sitting all the time
Right.
now
Why is that?
because I can.
Fair enough.
So you just like having the option. It's comfortable
Well,
to know
I
that
do-
you
I
could
do.
stand if you wanted to.
I do stand like in the morning,
Mm.
and then and then whenever my legs get sore from standing,
Mm.
I'll sit, and I'm usually just sitting for the rest of the day.
Mm.
But it's nice to have the option, I guess.
Because before with the cinder blocks, you were locked into one or the other, right?
Yeah. Man,
Has that been discussed on the podcast before? The cinder block tradition of our office.
No.
That is a quirk, actually. That's an
good
office
point.
quirk.
That is a very good point. We have multiple people who have made impromptu standing desks by piling cinder blocks underneath their sitting desks.
Yeah, Joel introduced
Oh
that
yeah,
to
he
us.
started that. Yeah.
I don't know where people are getting these cinder blocks. There's
Uh,
some building site that's
we
like,
provide cinder
we're
blocks.
14 cinder blocks
Yeah,
short.
Yeah.
We grinding gear provides cinder blocks.
Yeah.
It's one of the perks of the company.
Oh, love it.
That'd
and
be
all the sugar.
that'd be great to like put on a tax, like a write off on tax. Be
Cinder
like
blocks.
cinder blocks for
Yeah.
the
Cinder
office
blocks.
cinder blocks.
Yeah,
Be like, what is
$5.
Yeah. Just to have that for your accountant to look at and be like, what's with these cinder blocks?
Yeah,
Those garage company roots creeping through.
Yeah.
The,
but you also
full
have to
scale.
get a stool as well, because
I think
the thing is, people like do the cinder block thing, and then I don't know. You come over to their desk 6 months later, and they're sitting on their stool.
and
just,
I
like,
think that's
with neck
worse.
problems.
Yeah, that's worse because it's a stool and you're hunched over and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
It's just meant to break up the
Yeah,
long
yeah.
periods of sitting.
Well, that's the end of our podcast about video games. Good video game talk for everyone. If you've got any questions, email frontseatquestions@gmail.com. We love hearing from you. Love answering your questions. You can also tweet at us at frontseatcast is our Twitter handle. Facebook.com/frontseatcast is our Facebook page. Frontseatgamer.wordpress.com is our WordPress site. You can drop us a comment there. YouTube.com/frontseatcast is our YouTube page. You can subscribe to us there. We're also on Twitch, twitch.tv/frontseatcast, and Spotify. No URL given.
For Spotify?
Yeah, just
Because it's too long. Like, it has a bunch of
a
weird.
bunch of random letters and numbers. Just
Yeah,
type some
yeah.
random letters and numbers in there. You'll find us. Rate us on iTunes and tell your friends. We'd like to thank Leanne Booton for our wonderful logo. It's LIANNEBOOTON.tumblr.com. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. That's where.
You got excited.
Oh, so excited. And someone did our music. I don't know, this Andrew guy. He probably doesn't care.
Might have been me, possibly.
It was definitely you. Thank you so much for letting us use your music for
Oh, no worries.
4 years. 3 years?
Yeah.
Been a long
4
time.
years. We didn't talk about, like, your like, Naught for Nothing and.
Oh, yeah.
No, it didn't. But if anyone wants to check out some homemade indie rock music, you could check out my band, Naught for Nothing, on Spotify, iTunes.
That's NAUGHT.
Yep, FOR.
Yep.
Nothing. Spelled like nothing.
Spelled like
Yep.
a normal word. Nothing.
And yeah, we're one album out at the moment with a couple of singles, and there's a new album on the way in production. Nothing's really been announced yet, but it's.
I think it just did.
It just
get
did.
announced.
This is the official announcement, guys. Exclusive. Yeah, so that's still a couple of months away, but it's all written and it's just being edited and a few bits to record now.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Is that with like the whole band? Because you were doing
This
some solo
time,
stuff.
this time, this is all me.
Ah, yeah,
yeah. So I'm playing everything.
Wow.
Still under the title Not For Nothing?
It is, yeah. That's sort of my project. I did like an EP first, then we did the band thing, and
Right.
later on we'll see how that goes. And also, please feel free to contact me at a.jared.reid@gmail.com. Is that right? Did I get that right?
You're looking at us like we should know your email address.
I'm always taking always taking commissions and looking for new projects to do composition for. So get in contact.
Sweet. Get some music made for you.
Yeah.
And we'll be back in a couple weeks. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Andrew.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks to our normal members,
Just being here.
Severn.
Thank you for hosting, Nick.
Yeah.
Nick.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Yep.
Did I say that?
Thanks, Severn.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you, Savannah.
Oh shit!
Thank you.
Thank you, Blake.
Yep.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. Bye.
Good awkward outro there.
Perfect.
Did you watch the thing I linked you? The dreams thing. Media molecules.
I watched
Dreams?
chunks of it. Yeah.
Okay.
You said scrub through, so I scrubbed through.
Did you see enough?
So you watch Scrubs?
It looked interesting.
Okay.
I mean, it's like they've got some pretty basic game formats. Like to me, what it looked like was, look, you can make some cool archetypes, and not necessarily like. I mean, I wasn't like blown away.
You didn't see enough.
Well, I mean, I did though.
By scrubbing through it.
Yeah.
Okay. But
What is there some specific you wanted me to see?
yeah, there are trailers. Have you looked into this game? Okay. Don't worry.
I know of it. I don't know how detailed.
It's not a
it
thing
is.
of like I will pick this kind of game and make that kind of game. You just make.
I just know it's sort of like a sandbox that you just make random stuff
Yeah.
in.
You can model in it.
That's cool.
You can animate in it.
Yeah.
You
Do
can
you-
compose in it.
Do you think that we're gonna hit a point in time where like animators are just like we got gloves on, we got VR on, and we're
Yeah.
just like sculpting as if like we're real like
Dr-
sculptors?
Dreams is that. Like
Yeah?
if you So they have the waggle.
Yeah, yeah.
And stuff. And yeah, people are playing like drums and stuff, just like
Yeah.
taking their remote.
That's pretty good.
Hey, Wii Music came out 10 years ago.
You have to look at this Dreams thing, man.
Do you remember that? Oh man, that Wii Music thing was just horrid at E3.
What was it?
Yeah.
Oh, the guy standing.
There was
the
Miyamoto up there
Wiimote?
being like
Cool.
with a Wiimote.
in front of an orchestra.
Yeah.
No.
So I'm curious, what was your? So I sent you this Mario Maker thing,
hmm
and then you sent me that.
Yep.
Was this your way of saying this is better?
Yeah.
So the goal in sending you the Mario Maker thing was not look
You should have.
at all the crazy things you can make. It was more like, look how fun this looks. They've made the tools so easy to use.
That's fun thing is.
What is Mario Maker?
Mario Maker is Mario Maker came out on Wii U, and then they've got a sequel coming out this year.
Mm.
It is a
Level editor.
essentially yes, it's like a very flexible Mario level creation
Okay.
tool, but it also has like a full Mario campaign of like 100 levels.
Oh, okay.
Built
So
into it.
that sounds fun.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've got like kind of amazing usability. Like it's all like super easy to use. It's all swipey and
The Wii U one like spawned this whole like online community of making tougher and tougher Mario levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there
I can
was,
imagine it'd be a fun thing to do with friends, just like
Yeah.
making levels to try and challenge each other.
Yeah.
well,
and-
that's one of the coolest things about it is you can actually have two people building one level at once.
Ah,
Isn't
awesome.
that neat?
Yeah, it is neat.
See,
I
j'accuse.
I'm not disputing that. That's kind of cool. That's maybe the only cool thing I saw from that 17-minute trailer.
Dude, how come you didn't just send him a trailer of like Maya?
Maya.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should've.
Yeah, it's the
ZBrush.
point of it is not look. You can model in it.
You can make a whole game with Maya.
You would have talked about fun before.
I could, if I wanted to, I could have sent you. Oh, check out this Unreal Engine video. Look what you can do in it.
I'd be interested in that. Like more interested.
Yeah, that's something.
That's right up my alley.
Yeah.
The point of it is not, look, you can spend 40 hours making a game. The point of it is, look, you can spend 5 minutes making a fun level.
Yeah, and then having fun.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I don't know if you've heard of this one.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Wait.
I
I
don't
only need
think
to
you're familiar
buy.
with this word. It means like, have you ever enjoyed something? Okay, so it's like kind of like enjoyment.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
like lighthearted.
It's that feeling you get when you play Grand Theft Auto.
Oh.
No. That's
Whoa.
aggravation.